The new Rogue One trailer dropped during the Olympics this year, and like, okay, this trailer introduced several shots at different angles, from, like that could be hinted as the reshoots. But we got some new material, meaning the new characters, the ragtag group of rebels, and some of the Empire, specifically Orson Carrick. I think I like I've said in previous videos, I am not good with pronouncing Star Wars names, except for a select few when I hear them. Um, who's an Imperial military director who's obsessed with the completion of the Death Star and is a cruel but brilliant man, blah blah blah. But we meet the cast of characters one by one. We get a little bit into their personality when they're talking, and I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, this trailer was awesome. But like, my favorite, there were two favorite scenes in this trailer. Other than, well, there could be a third because it was the end scene where we saw the rebels all look at each other, then look at Jyn Astra, um, as if we're ready, we're going to follow you, we're ready to do this. Like, we're really doing this. And we got some insight, like when we heard about this big droid, named K2SO, who's an enforcer droid for the Empire. I was like, so wait, did they reprogram him because the droid's with the rebels? So then I was proven correct. Because there's a scene in the trailer where you see a glimpse of the droid running with Jyn Erso inside somewhere, which could be the Death Star, I don't know. And like I was thinking, like, did they reprogram that droid? Oh yeah, they reprogrammed that droid. Okay, I was right. So I kind of saw that coming. And then we see this blind character, which I'm not even gonna try to pronounce because, well, I can't even figure out what the heck his name is because it's confusing to me. He's blinded and whatnot. Could be because he was born with it or an accident. It could be any of those things. All I know is it's not through a lightsaber. Too soon? Yeah, too soon. Um, he is a character that believes all things are connected through the Force. So basically, he's Obi-Wan. Um, and it has been said he lacks the Force, even though someone could try to make the argument, wait, could they be lying and saying he does have the Force? Because they have done this before in movies where they lie saying, oh, this character doesn't have it. Oh, this character has it. But like, I'm a little surprised if we're going for realism here in the world of Star Wars, if that's even humanly possible. We're going war. Wouldn't the Empire think that because he can't see, he can somehow still fight stormtroopers and take them out with the beat of his stick? And like, wait, is he a Jedi? Like, he spews all this talk about the Force. He could be a Jedi because, well, the Force is, when talking about the Force, is pretty taboo in the Empire since the Empire has an agenda to take them out through the Great Purge. They don't really explore that like they did in the old EU. Like, they mention it, but all we got was just Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka, and that was it. We didn't see any other Jedi show up, unless you count the hologram of Obi-Wan. And along with that, we saw a second scene was when we saw an image of the Death Star eclipse the sun, and I was thinking symbolism because let's be real, that was obvious symbolism there. And the final shot of the trailer, which was like, oh god, it's actually happening. Like, I knew it was coming. We see a glimpse of Darth Vader looking over the Death Star or something like that. Probably the Death Star. It was schematics on a map, probably the Star Destroyer, his personal one. And I'm thinking, oh wait, is this the scene where we're going to see him at the end of the movie a bit and where he's going to say the rebels have the Death Star plans? I know where the tentative four, as it was called in the old EU, um, they have it. Let's go after it mentality because that's how I think the movie's gonna end afterwards. Like they're gonna deliver the plans to the ship that has Princess Leia on it, and then Vader's gonna give the order to go after it, and then we jump straight to episode 4. So that's how I think it's gonna end, but I could be wrong. Now, after the first trailer dropped and everything and all that, and I talked about it, we had reports coming out that there were going to be reshoots happening. Like 40% of the movie was going to be reshot because Disney didn't want to go with this direction. Like the director wanted massive scopes, like big things to outbig the other stuff and really show size and scale over everything, and also go with the war film where you would like they're right. He's right. They're both right. And Disney said, then no, that's too intelligent. You see, kids we believe are very dumb, which is why we made Star Wars Rebels. I'm like, it's a good concept, the show, but the show, like I said, is rushed beyond all belief. And it's really made me not care about the characters, which is why I have no remorse for, which is why I have no care whatsoever about the lightsaber joke, which wasn't even trying to make a joke there, but that's for real. That was a bad joke, but like, it, I would have made the joke if I actually cared about Kanan to a degree, but they rushed his development, and like we have to read the expanded universe of Disney's new canon, and it's not really that interesting. Like he was a former Jedi. He's on the run. He falls in love with Hera because it's plainly obvious. He loses his eyesight training Ezra, and trusting Darth Maul. Okay, like there's no sense of build for me for to care about him. Other than I'm a Jedi and my master was killed. Okay, that's bad, but you don't really give me that I should feel sorry for you mentality, which is why I'm hoping this movie did not have to go through that kind of reshoot. Like it was confirmed through a source that they're not reshooting the entire movie at this point. Like that would be very stupid. We would have to delay it, which made sense because they would say, "Oh, we're only gonna do it during the summer." And like, wait, you only have like a month to finish the reshoots. Like this is not gonna be 40%. This is gonna be like action scenes most likely. And it was confirmed that we're going to do some reshoots, but now I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm hoping it's not the case with the reshoots where they changed everything up. Like, they were going to go with this dark, gritty, realistic war film, and then Disney says, no, that's too intelligent. We can't have that. We can't have this. We can't have that. You see, unlike Lucas, we don't really care about intelligence. Like, we could have went with Legacy of the Force since we're blatantly ripping that off in episode 7. We could have obviously went with Jason Solo and Jaina Solo, where Jason Solo's trying to preserve peace to prepare for the great darkness that has to come from Darth Krayt. Or we could even go with the Yuuzhan Vong, who haven't invaded yet. But, yeah, that would be too intelligent for kids. So we're going to do with a straight-up temper tantrum guy who has serious family issues. I'm not discrediting Kylo Ren. He's an awesome character, but like I think that's what Disney's thinking, and people and they're thinking what the fans think, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be, wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But the reshoots, they say it's going to be small. I hope it doesn't affect the overall experience, like it presumably did with Suicide Squad or Batman v Superman. Okay. And I really hope, let's see. Also, Bail Organa is going to be back in this movie along with Mon Martha, since she's obviously in the trailers. But I'm kind of creeped out the fact that the actors look surprisingly like Mon Martha from 30 years ago, because, well, the original actress by now is either old or very dead at this point, and they found an actor that just happens to look like her. Like, did they clone her? Yeah, they had to have cloned her. Like, this is really weird. Like, she looks straight up like the actress who played Mon Martha in the original trilogy, and that was 30 years ago. How did they find another? Heck, if you even think about it, she kind of sounds like him. Sounds like her. Now, another thing is Forrest Whitaker playing this strange guy named Rogue. Like, then we found out who he was. I was very pissed off about this. It was Shaw. I can't pronounce his last name, but it was Saw. If you don't remember him, that actually wouldn't be surprising to me because he was that third guy that we saw in Star Wars: The Clone Wars season 5, where he was the older brother of Stila, who was a competitive love interest with Lux against Ahsoka, and the only highlight Saw did was, "Oh, I'm gonna try and rescue the king." I failed, but then I succeeded. And almost failed again and got us killed. Almost brought the Republic into the war. Yeah, I kind of did not think this through. Um, so I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! He's in this movie. I don't even remember his role that much. Like, if you cut him out of the movie, not out of the show, nothing would have changed." So I, I was thinking, why wasn't it Ahsoka? Like, why wasn't it Ahsoka who was in her first movie, a live action movie? Like, it would be awesome to see Ahsoka in a live action movie. It really should have went to Ahsoka or someone that was animated that comes to real life. Not Shaw. Like, I don't remember him that much. Like, we get a mention of him in Star Wars Rebels: The Honorable Ones, where he's leading a rebellion on Onderon, and I'm thinking, wait, what happened to Lex Bonteri? You know, Ahsoka's love interest. You know, the senator who probably has political connections. No, we're not talking about him. Okay, fuck you. Like, I kind of actually liked Ahsoka and Lux being together, but like, okay, why didn't Lex show up or get mentioned? Like, you would think Ahsoka would at least talk about him since they had something going on, and then Stila died, and they just kind of died off afterwards, and they never talked about him again. So, yeah. Um, Along with that, we saw a picture of Bail Organa, the actor who plays him as well, in a scene in a photo that was leaked, and it showed Bail Organa in the background, and it was confirmed he was going to be in the movie in a small role. And James Earl Jones is coming back to voice Darth Vader, and they said, hey, he's gonna have that Darth Vader's gonna have a big role in Rogue One, which wouldn't surprise me because it's Darth Vader. To put him in a small role would be kind of insulting. But that does beg the question: if Vader's in the movie, then who's the guy bowing? Like, it's clearly not Vader because he's wearing a hood, so unless he took off his mask, which would kill him, well, sort of, because in Force Unleashed 1, Vader's mask is ripped off, but his breathing amplifier is still on him, so is that what happened? Or, like, so, like, right now, this is just speculation. I'm pretty sure this is an Inquisitor who's going to try to stop the rebels, then gets killed, and they call in Vader, like, Vader, we need you to fix our shit. We're kind of in deep shit here. They stole the plans. And Vader will most likely kill that guy through force choking him, and then go after them himself, and probably kill Shaw. I would not be surprised. And we get some insight to some of the characters in the movie, in the trailer, like a freelance assassin, Baze Malbus, who has a harsh reality on his Imperial-occupied homeworld, who, because of it, is now going to fight against the Empire, and we get more of these characters. And like, I'm already interested in these characters. I was more invested in them than the entire cast of Rebels. I'm like, I probably will be a little bit invested in Thrawn, but like I said, is it going to be the same Thrawn we remember as kids, as adults, when we read the books from the old EU, or is it going to be a demonized version of Thrawn who had, oh, I'm evil and whatnot, I'm evil, philosophy, art, evil? Whereas Thrawn says, we need to unite the galaxy in preparation for the Eastern Dawn, but the New Republic would never believe me because I'm an Imperial. Yeah, that's good reason. So ultimately, I cannot wait for Rogue One, the movie, the Star Wars story. I keep calling it Star Wars Rogue One because that's what to me is. It's just Star Wars Rogue One, just that. I'm like, they call it Rogue One a Star Wars story, but like I just call it Star Wars Rogue One because I'm just used for Star Wars being the first word that comes to mind in when it comes to a movie. Um, but like the reshoots are still concerning to me. Like, it was also reported that these reshoots were not directed by Gareth Edwards, so that also got me concerned. Like, then who directed these? I'm not confident a little bit, but we'll see how this goes, okay? We'll see how this goes when it comes out. And probably a final trailer. So those are my thoughts on the new Rogue One trailer. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.